Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Great Debaters Contest. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok.
Amsterdam, Canada, and several states in the US have legalized the use of medical marijuana as well as for pleasure. So today we're asking if the medical benefits of marijuana outweigh its risks.
Proposing this motion, we have Utumishi boys who have told their opponents that they are inexonerable. As for the opposers, we have Our Lady of Mercy, and with a motto such as Misericordia, which means that they're merciful and graceful. So will they win without mercy, and will they win gracefully? Let us see.
First proposer, you have the stage.
My salutations. My name is Philip Ofula from Utumishi Academy. Now, first of all, I'd like for you to see that the social perception of marijuana is by far, or to a plausible extent, one that is mistainted. So what are we talking about by saying that we should legalize marijuana? In truth, we are saying that we should make this substance acceptable or approvable by state law. Marijuana in itself is a drug, a substance that alters the state of one's mind. So if we were to legalize it, then I presume with Kenya, a fast-growing country, and with the coming up issues with regard to the field of medicine, you find that certain diseases due to the changes of lifestyle thereof come up. So these diseases can be treated by bang. For instance, I do not want for us to perceive it as though the diseases I'm to present are diseases from maybe outside the country or that cannot affect us within, or the cases that we haven't had. So relating to the cases present or current in our current time and state, then for instance, marijuana has been seen to exhibit neurotherapeutic properties and also neuroprotective properties. That is, for instance, when one gets a stroke in the Kenyan society, this marijuana can be used to treat the stroke and also to protect the brain after the stroke. So you see, it is an arising issue. Though cases of the same might not be as much, it is still quite coming up. So that can be used to treat. Marijuana can be used to curb the same. Also, on the neurotherapeutic part, you find that people suffering from cancer are treated through chemotherapy. Now, chemotherapy has side effects which are dire and quite painful. For instance, nausea and vomiting. And this nausea and vomiting can be treated by the inducing of marijuana into the patient's body, such that it boosts the patient's appetite, and it also curbs the nausea that comes as a result of the chemotherapy being treated. And also the cells that cause the cancer, the breast cancer, for instance, which is also a rampant case in Kenya. The cells or the genes that come up and replicate themselves in order to cause the cancer to grow can be inhibited. They're called the ID1 genes. They can be inhibited, and thus they do not grow further if they're treated in the compounds found in cannabis, which is also marijuana. So marijuana has been cited to give us many benefits. For instance, also, we have another issue that is major in Kenya, alcoholism. So if people are given cannabis, they tend to stop slowly using the alcohol. So I encourage us to legalize marijuana. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes.
Salutations to you all. From Our Lady of Mercy, I am Susan Osere. Marijuana, bang, also known as weed, is the most illicit abused drug worldwide. Medical benefits are the gained advantages that consumers get from using marijuana. Legalizing something is permitting its use by law. In our case, permitting the use of marijuana for both medical purposes and leisure purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, marijuana contains 50 to 70% more cancer-causing effects than tobacco. While it is true that marijuana can control the spread of cancer, it is rather obvious that it has more chemicals that actually cause this cancer. So ladies and gentlemen, would you rather use marijuana, get that cancer, and then go ahead and control it with the same marijuana? Or would you rather avoid the use of marijuana and end up enjoying a cancer-free life? The choice is yours. Approximately 119 to 224 million people use marijuana worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, 3/4 of these people use marijuana for leisure purposes. So what am I saying? If we legalize marijuana, we are actually increasing the consumers. And by increasing the consumers, we are increasing drug abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, California, for example, legalized marijuana for medical purposes. But do you know the results? Increase in drug abuse, as the government was not able to control how these people consume this drug. So ladies and gentlemen, if we legalize marijuana, we are actually legalizing drug abuse. Marijuana also causes deaths. My audience, it is a fact that marijuana impairs judgment. Marijuana also distorts the coordination of body movements. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine how many accidents we will have on our roads, all in the name of people driving under the influence of marijuana. Quite a lot, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want marijuana to be banned completely, because if we legalize it, we are increasing deaths in our society. Amsterdam legalized marijuana. But do you know the results? Increase in crime rate, increase in immorality, ladies and gentlemen. We claim that we want the world to become a better place. How will the world become a better place if we are making marijuana a legal drug? Ladies and gentlemen, there is destruction in our nation. Save it, ladies and gentlemen. Say no to the legalization of marijuana. Need I say more? Thank you.
Both team, beginning with the proposers, you have 3 minutes.
Greetings to you all. My name is Brian Monaita from Utumishi Boys Academy. I wish to start by correcting Susan, who was our opposer's first speaker, by stating that the motion is very specific. It's saying medicinal marijuana. We're not talking about using marijuana as the raw form, as the drug itself. We are talking about extracting various substances from marijuana to use them to cure. We are not using bang in its raw form to go and smoke, to go and recreate. We are talking about a medicine. Medicine has undergone tests, it has been regulated, it has been filtered, and thus whatever is left from the extract of marijuana is what we are using to treat the diseases. According to a World Health Organization report by the United Nations in the year of 2008, they compared the Netherlands and the US. Now, the Netherlands has the least stringent rules concerning prohibition of marijuana, while the US has some of the most stringent rules. They found that the rate of marijuana users in the Netherlands was 19.4%, while that in the US was 44.2%. Thus, I believe you can make an inference from that and see that making it illegal doubles the number of people who actually use the drug. Epilepsy is one of the diseases that is cropping up in Kenya. It might be societal, it might be lifestyle, but it is cropping up. And doctors do not know how to handle it. They don't know what exactly causes it. But according to the Virginia Institute of Medicine, marijuana contains cannabinoids which bind to the receptors in the brain and cause it to relax. That is, it absorbs the impulses that cause the spasmic motions that are experienced during epilepsy. Thus, for the rising people of epilepsy in Kenya, a dosage of that marijuana extract can be used to cure them. I believe if you walk around and observe, you will see that obesity is a national epidemic. Mark you, there is a solution to that. We do have extracts from marijuana that cause the pancreas to produce greater insulin. Now, insulin is what burns fats in the body. And I am sure that even for most of us men, we would like to lose some of the middle protuberance that signifies success. Now, we also have the Alzheimer's disease. This is common in old people. Now, Alzheimer's is a disease that causes proteins in the brain to coagulate and block the neuroreceptors, thus leading to memory loss and leading to dementia. Now, marijuana is able to coat the proteins in the brain. And how does that prevent? If something is coated, it cannot agglutinate. Thus, Alzheimer's has been allayed in old people. And I'm sure that none of us here would like our grandparents to forget about us or who we are, right? We also have asthma. Now, marijuana is basically imbibed into the body via breathing or via oral methods. Now, this increases the lung capacity. And people with marijuana, once they increase their lung capacity by inhaling bang slowly by slowly, they're able to return to a normal functioning. Thus, I believed from these benefits which I've stated, which are just the tip of the iceberg, marijuana should have been legalized yesterday.
The second opposer, you may give your rebuttal. You also have 3 minutes.
From Our Lady of Mercy, I am Natasha Mweni. Now, Brian, you talked about marijuana increasing lung capacity. I would like to correct you and ask you one simple question. Would you rather have huge lungs, blackened, and suffering from bronchitis? What would be the purpose of having lungs that can allow in more smoke to damage your lungs even further? You talked about marijuana being used as pills, that you would extract the active chemicals in marijuana to use as pills. Then how then will that increase lung capacity, ladies and gentlemen? How? You have a toothache, and your lips are swollen. What to do, what to do? Oh, I have an idea. Chop off your tongue. I mean, you're in pain already, right? Ladies and gentlemen, legalizing marijuana in the face of the terror that is alcohol and tobacco is no better than chopping off our own tongues. You see, the arguments they are presenting is that marijuana will pain relieve, marijuana, ladies and gentlemen, there are alternatives. For cancer patients, they have been using Marinol, which is a drug that is used as a substitute of medical marijuana to curb the side effects. Now, why would we legalize? I mean, if we use this argument, we might as well legalize cocaine. Cocaine has been found to have an even greater numbing effect as compared to marijuana. If we legalize this, would create a chain effect. More people with likings for specific narcotics would crop up. They would look for that minute use of that drug and fight for it. If we allow this, we allow a nation which will legalize cocaine. We allow a nation that will legalize heroin. Ladies and gentlemen, damage, no damage. According to a research done by a Northwestern University, people using marijuana are exposed to a bad abnormal brain structure. This brain structure just doesn't stop there. It goes on to their memory. They have a poor memory. Now, Brian talked about marijuana use helping your brain. How? When it's creating abnormalities in it, while it's creating a pain in it. Ladies and gentlemen, Columbia University carried out a research and found that marijuana users have 39% less immunity as compared to users of to non-users. This means that if people used marijuana, we'd have 119 to 224 million people more susceptible to acquiring diseases. Now, where will these people go? Our country on its own cannot even feed our people effectively. Now, look at a nation suffering, ladies and gentlemen. Look at a nation in pain. Legalizing marijuana is no valid thing.
I want to lipa na M-Pesa, money transaction yani pesa. Kuonyesha talanta zipo Kenya. Tunaonekana level so. Tech-wise tuko dope. M-Pesa giving us hope. Hope could develop. I love my home. M-Pesa.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
Mr. Regal, Center, I have a question. What happens to the other chemicals found in bang after we've extracted the useful ones?
I'm Afandi from Bishop Gati Mugandu. You have given us a substitute. You have given us the substitute drug to treating cancer. How affordable and how available is the drug? Thank you.
Third proposer, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Greetings. My name is Billy Koech. I'm here to propose the motion that the medical benefits of marijuana outweigh its risks and should thus be legalized. Natasha, like you said, marijuana causes the blackening of the lungs, and somehow it would be a disadvantage because it would increase at the same time blacken the lung. Now let me tell you this: marijuana has no tar. Therefore, there is no way that your lungs will be blackened, according to her. Secondly, the current drugs used in this 21st century, they are called opiates, and opiates increase dependency. Now, if you compare opiates to the component found in marijuana, which are called Saviates do not cause dependency. For information, she mentioned that marinol is the component used in treating cancer. Well, you should know that marinol is an extract of marijuana. Now, on to the first question. Wangeshi, you asked what happens to the other components of marijuana once extracted. Well, you should know that the hemp plant has quite a number of uses. It can be used to make polyester, can be used to make plastics, can even be used to make oil. The extracts have a number of uses. Now, for the second question, you asked where is the balance between the effects of marijuana and the medical benefits. Well, I'll let you know that in Africa, HIV and AIDS is a pandemic. That is very clear. Now, consider the fact that it causes that much pain and it causes loss of appetite. Now, taking marijuana increases one's appetite. One can eat well, therefore would be saving more lives. Secondly, we do not smoke marijuana. We are talking about medical marijuana. Medical marijuana is the extract which we've taken from marijuana. That is, it's known as tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. Now, taking THC, it is a pure form. Thus, with it, we can evade the negative effects of marijuana. You should know that naysayers do have these assumptions and opinions on the drug. That's why they do say that it should not be legalized. But may it be known at this moment that marijuana actually has a false reputation. We should actually look into the benefits before dismissing the drug. This way, if we do look into the benefits, we can actually be able to realize the medical benefits. We can be able to evade enduring the hard problems of having low standards of medical services. Lastly, there is no factual evidence that proves marijuana is addictive, but simply it is used for pleasure by others. All assumptions are based off opinions. The drug is bad. But listen to me today. Give the medical aspect of marijuana a chance. Thank you.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Before I get too carried away, Diana Musyoka, answering your questions. First question. Marijuana is the most abused illicit drug. 119 to 224 million people abuse marijuana. It is illegal. Isn't that enough proof that it's the most abused illicit drug? Marijuana, about its availability, marijuana is currently being used in hospitals. That means it is definitely available. So no need to worry about it not being available because it is there now. If I was to run a consensus, majority seated here today would love to experience the gift of having a child in your arms, to share your love to this young one. Well, marijuana will rip you off your right. You know why? It leads to the reduction of the testosterone hormone. Therefore, males, you'll be rendered infertile, impotent. Ladies, it leads to the failure of ovulation. Barrenness, marijuana, legalization. Now, Financial constraints. A man who smokes 3 joints a day uses approximately 150 shillings. In a week, he uses approximately 1,550 shillings. In a month, 4,650 shillings. In a year, 55,850 shillings gone to waste because of marijuana. Yet, you're telling me we should consider the medical benefits and not the risks. The same way youngsters below 18 are able to access alcohol is the same way they will be able to access marijuana. Merchants will get involved in the black market, sell it to you illegally, you use it illegally, yet it's legalized. So I don't see the point of legalizing something, yet it's still going to be abused. You're increasing drug abuse instead of using it for the medical benefits. It pains my heart greatly to see these handsome young men standing before you, my lovely audience, to deceive you. Marijuana should not be legalized. Consider all the negative aspects it has to the 3 or 4 medical benefits it has. Marijuana should not be legalized. Thank you.
We'll now get closing statements, beginning with the proposers. You have a minute.
Deception, she says. Well, in my knowledge, man is to resilience, and we evolve to adapt to the changing world. In truth, Kenya is changing. Upcoming diseases, as stated priorly, are there. We have to curb them. And as such, I do urge you to encourage the use of marijuana. And I'm not asking you to go and smoke a shot of dirty bang. No, kindly change your social perception of the same. I am asking you to entreat into the field of medical marijuana. So the medical aspects that are taken out, or the extracts that are taken out, in order for us to harness the medical benefits or what is proper for the society. Thank you.
Opposers, 1 minute for your closing statement.
First of all, I'd like to start by telling you or correcting a mistake we made. My fellow contestant was talking about Marinol being available and Marinol being in use, not marijuana. The opponents talked about how marijuana and the medical aspect of it, specifically THC, is not harmful. I'd like to let you know that THC is synthesized. The one they're talking about is the one from marijuana. THC can be synthesized, and it's the one found in Marinol. Now, Maya Angelou talked about many things, and one of the things that caught my eye is when she said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Marijuana has been in use for decades and decades and decades, ladies and gentlemen, and it has not shown its full potential. It has been given many years, yet it has not helped one person. Should we legalize something that has extreme risks compared to its benefits? Should we? Thank you.
Our Lady of Mercy, this motion was a difficult one. And you did justice, because it was actually on the favor of Utumishi boys. But you still did, excellently in the motion.
Brian, wow. You come in here and I had to take my pen and write some of the notes and the terminology that you taught me here. I'm impressed by you, and I think you make a very good cross-examiner, and your research is on another level. You also come and cross-examine it on another scale. Coach as well, it's another wow, because you come, you cross-examine, you tackle question, you give extra points, and to both teams, I think you did justice to the motion. All the best.
This is one of the motions in which research will make a difference, and that means that if you do your research properly, then you are going to win the debate. To the teams that are yet to take the stage, delivery is important, but research is equally important. All the best to the two teams.
We have Our Lady of Mercy with 68.6%. Please give them a round of applause. And mercilessly, Utumishi boys have 74.8%. They are our winners for the debate.
It seems our consensus today is that we should give marijuana a chance, so we congratulate the gentlemen. However, this is a game of numbers, so all may not be lost for the ladies. Until we see you next time on the Great Debaters Contest, I am your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yambo.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.